the Speaker's name has come up a couple times. There are a lot of people, the aforementioned Mr. Sullivan and others, who've said that Tuesday was a referendum on the Speaker. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think that's the facts don't bear that out. I mean, the facts will tell you that most people don't know who that. I mean, with all due respect to my good friend and our Speaker, and the even among likely voters, there's less than the majority of the state knows who the Speaker of the Texas House is. Whether that was Tom Craddock or Pete Laney, it's just. I think when I talk to these members, he doesn't come up in their races. You know, some issue about homeschooling and UIL participation, that seems to be an issue in the Woodlands. There's all kinds of local issues.
So the assertion that Representative
about the money thing, let me just say that that didn't come up in any of my conversations. I'm sure most people always say they could, but I know in at least 2 of the 3 instances, there's plenty of money in the bank. And Tuffy told me that he thought they dropped. You know, he was well ahead in a poll that was run the first week of early voting, and he thinks there was about 100,000 dropped the last week of early voting. So some of that may have caught him off guard because he didn't process it quick enough. But no one was complaining. I mean, you know, I think.
Well, Eisler had more than $600,000 in the bank.
Right.
I think a lot of us are wondering, well, what was the point of having that money if at the end you didn't spend it?
Yeah. So I mean, again, the facts don't bear out the Trey's theory that somehow they weren't supported.
But let me come back to the Speaker and the degree to which any of these individual races, because I don't think anybody thinks the Speaker was overall statewide the issue. But what's been asserted is that because Representative Eisler was one of the Speaker's Gang of 11, was a key chairman, that Representative Truitt was close to the Speaker, that somehow the Speaker became an issue in those races specifically, and the association with the Speaker had something to do with the other side turning out to defeat them. Do you not agree with that? Yeah,
I don't think so. Is it one element? May have been in the mix of issues, and my guess is not as important an element as some of the other local elements. Yeah, I would say it's probably an element in some of the races, but to sort of find that thread, like some have sort of strained to do, and try to say, oh, there's a pattern here.
So this is not a conservative backlash against the Speaker?
No, no. I think there's a robust discussion about, you know, what's conservatism and what's Tea Partyism and what does it mean to be a Republican and who's defining that debate. So there obviously that going on. Some people are calling it country club, or excuse me, Chamber of Commerce. Versus you know, social conservatives, or fiscal versus social. You know, some people are now it seems like the analysis is starting to weave social conservatives and Tea Party conservatives, which my sense is that the Tea Party started as a more fiscal and maybe immigration reform issue oriented focus. So I think some of this analysis is trying to look for some answers, and I think one answer is that yeah, there's a robust discussion going on in our party as to what are the real conservative solutions, and so I'd say that played a role.
How much was the Speaker a factor, do you think?
Well, I mean, let's look at this. I mean, the Speaker was elected by initially with 64 Democrats and 13 Republicans.
Anything wrong with that?
In my book, no. But in the Republican...
Anything wrong with that?
And last I checked, you know, when Speaker Craddock was in power, he was relying on what we called
Craddock
D's. Yeah, there were 10 or 11.
You know, I'm glad he brought that up. First, I'd say objection non-responsive. That's what I'd say as a lawyer to answer. But aside from that,
you don't claim them as members of your party. They were Craddock chairman and critical to the speakership.
And guess what? For all the things that I disliked about Tom Craddock, when push came to shove, he got behind his members, even the Craddock D's. You see Joe Straus show up to any of the Democratic members' events?
Yeah,
his chairman?
yeah.
Did he go to Garnett Coleman's district? I don't think he did. Did he go to Rene Oliveda? I don't think he did. You know, where is that notion of taking care of your members? He didn't even take care of the members in his own caucus. And so to say that this is not an indictment or a characterization on the Speaker, he's probably right in the abstract. It is not. But in politics, up here in Austin, I mean, actions speak louder than words. You know, the week before the election, White is running around with Governor Perry. Everybody internally knew that Speaker Straus was up big. His surrogates up here were already laying the groundwork for a 65% victory. He had $4.4 million in the bank. Didn't even throw Tuffy a bone. Not $1. Not $1. If you look at the legislative PAC that the Speaker controls, the Leadership Fund, you can see $15,000 to Chuck Hobson. You can see money to Sid Miller, money to Vicki Truitt. You see nothing but an attaboy to Tuffy Hamilton.
Did the speaker walk away from Tuffy?
No, of course not. He was making the comment. I thought you were going to talk about taking care of Republicans. No, he as far as I know, he didn't go for Democrats.
You were saying credit.
But on the Republican side, I can tell you he has been all over the state, going to fundraisers, raising money, showing up, which helps when a member's trying to raise money from civic leaders and supporters in his district, to have the speaker be at your event. And so I can tell you he was all over the state raising money for members. And he also had his own race. And if he hadn't won big, then people would have said, oh, he's
weakened.
Right. So you're trying to have it both ways. He needed to win big. He needed to win convincingly. He did. Last time he went out and gave a lot of money out, buku cabbage, and then got criticized for trying to buy their vote for speaker. So, the speaker has tried it multiple ways. He's been very supportive of other members. And I can tell you, because I get phone calls from all over the state where he's driving back late at night or trying to catch an airplane to get home because he's working hard for the members. And I had no complaints. I've got no phone calls from anyone saying, well, the speaker hadn't done enough for me.
I've yet to see a campaign expense report that shows one donation made to a Democratic chairman. And the significance is if Tom Craddock had the support of Democrats,
right,
it's because Tom Craddock had their back. You don't see that here.
Representative, I mean, with respect here, we had Senator Corona here a couple weeks ago, and Senator Corona has been filleted like a whitefish for giving money to Senator Zaffirini and for hosting a fundraiser for Senator West. It's like you're leading Speaker Straus into the lion's den if you encourage him to give the Democrats, aren't you?
Not if you expect balanced support. I mean, did Pete Laney get thrown out of the speakership because he helped Republicans?
Different environment.
And what capacity? I mean, Speaker Laney didn't have someone like a Michael Quinn Sullivan running all over him. And he wouldn't have let it happen. Barry Miller wouldn't have let it happen. So let's be clear about this. I mean, this fiction of Michael Quinn Sullivan is only a fiction because people let it be a fiction. I mean, that needs to get shut down. It needs to get shut down now. And like I said, I mean, I'm happy to help. I know a thing or two about, rolling up my sleeves and getting into a brawl. Happy to help. But in return, let's get some fair policies.
You still got the chess pieces.
You want his help taking care of these guys on the right of you?
He's going to have to come to my fundraiser, though.
Yeah, hey,